Timothy, whatever.
Timothée Chalamet.
Timmy.
And that's what Bob Dylan... well, how was it a big deal when he started using electric guitar?
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Well, my number 2, I want to say, is Challengers.
All right, number 3.
No. We have to talk about that.
No, we don't.
It's good. Do we talk about Dune now? Let's talk about Dune now. What say you? What did you
Sure.
like about it?
Well, I mean, I read. How do you say this? I read the book, so
Back for this. I'm kind
I
of.
gotta watch that.
You should.
Is it got that Plemons kid in it, Jesse Plemons?
Yeah. I'm here with Mr. Biscuit, aka Dadman. We're talking 2024 films. Was this a good year in film or not? And I've watched. Holy heck! I've watched 42 films so far, which is an anagram for 24. So do the math on that. Kind of an expert. No big deal. Dadman's seen a few. We'll discuss the ones that he's seen as well as go over my top picks. First and foremost, I kind of want to start it off and say, despite maybe a narrative that this year is...
Not great.
Yeah, not good. Well, here's the thing I'll preface this with. So I couldn't really do it with many other years, like maybe some of the best decades or some of the best years, just because I haven't seen enough. And I think it would fall into like a cherry picking fallacy type of thing.
Right.
You know, it's like you remember classic music is good because you only remember the hits.
Right.
Whereas
there's
like
bad music, you don't remember, you didn't listen to it.
Yeah. Or why would you remember a bad song?
Right.
And like with these past 3 years, I've actually watched quite a lot of them. It's actually 43 films for 2024.
You said 42. You have to correct that.
Let me see again.
You should probably try to
I don't
be
know
more
why I
more
said
accurate.
43. Whatever. It's 42. It's an anagram for 24. I saw 58 for 2023. And I've seen 44 for 2022. Are you impressed by that?
No.
It's over 120 films in the last 20 years, or last 3 years alone. Anywho, the average for 2024, and it's very subjective, right? Because it's all my ratings, but it's a 3.64 for 2024. Okay, now
That's not bad.
2023, yeah. So that's like, on average, the movie in my a 3.5 for me is very good, and a 4 is what I would consider great. Now that's super subjective. It doesn't mean anything to you viewers, but if you've come to respect our taste in movies or our opinions, then it holds some weight.
We're the everyday guy opinion that's
Johnny
more
Lunchbag.
but more sophisticated. Like if
Yeah.
you have a friend who's like an average dude, but he's super smart and really good at a lot of things, that's
Super
kind of
good
us.
looking.
Yeah. You know, you have that friend. They're not like pretentious or arrogant or whatever. They're just
Really
everyday
athletic.
guy. Yeah. Good looking, super smart,
Strong.
But that's
Probably
us.
quotes poetry from time to time.
No, not that. We don't go that far. We're just sophisticated every day.
Read Shakespeare, maybe.
No, we don't. I did that. I remember I was on I don't know if it's high school or junior high. We were reading Shakespeare, and I'm well read. I read a lot. I read a lot. Maybe I would say 1 to 2 hours a day on average. Okay.
Yeah.
So I swear to God, I was so idle from reading that. I didn't understand what they were talking about. I couldn't stand it. I'm like, look,
Yeah.
can you like update this? I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so cumbersome. And
Yeah.
I think it was in the original, his original text.
Right.
It's like, oh, this means this and this means that. It's like, what,
Why don't we
I don't want
read
to solve
the...
a puzzle every paragraph.
Yeah, I feel that way too. That's why, they say he's the best. There's movies that are based on Shakespeare that are in the language that, the original text, and it's like, I barely know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't know.
You
no
know.
idea.
It's like I just have to take the actions and kind
Try
of
to
put
figure-
the pieces together.
Oh, I think that guy's mad at that guy because he stabbed him. Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Could have been an accident, though. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
So 2023 is actually the downest year
Downest, yeah.
Which
That's
is-
very articulate.
Well, my doctor said I had Downest syndrome, which is funny.
it's not as bad as it sounds. Is the
Yeah,
other.
not the other as yeah,
You-
not to be mistaken.
They know. They know because
with-
they don't have Downest
with
syndrome.
premenstrual syndrome. It was a 3.44, but it was a larger sample. So,
Well, 20. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
you know,
Right.
I don't need to explain that to the audience. They understand.
They understand.
That drags down the average. Unless every film you watch just happens to be great. You know, bigger
Well,
sample, the
no,
more likely
no.
there is to be some bad ones. that
Very
slip
no.
in.
There's more likely to be variation from what is probably the actual mean average, but it doesn't mean it's going to be necessarily higher or necessarily lower. The more
No, it's going to be closer to the mean.
the more you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's you made it sound like it's the more you watch, it's going to go down.
So
So
yeah,
that's
well,
wrong.
no, I agree. I agree.
Well, you did in the first.
Well,
time.
because the average movie is average. You understand? So the more you watch, the more average films are going to slip in. But the smaller the selection, especially on something like this where I'm choosing to watch a movie, it's probably going to cater more towards me the smaller the selection is.
Okay, no, that's I got it. I got it. So if you got okay, yeah, I'm not going to get into the math, but you're right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And so that is a 0.12 variation from 2024. So it's almost almost a quarter star lower out of 5 on average.
You don't have to do the math.
And
here.
then 2022
no one cares.
is a 3.59, and that is just slightly less good than 2024. So despite the narrative that 2024 people might think it's a bad year in film, I mean, in my mind, it's just as
Tomato
good.
meter.
Yeah, I think it's at least as good, if not maybe slightly better. And take into account here, I'm watching The Wild Robot, which is probably going to boost up the average a little bit, and 2 of the higher rated Oscar nominations I haven't watched yet. The Brutalist, and let me look at the last one. It's an international film that actually looks pretty damn good. It's called I'm Still Here, which you wouldn't like because it's foreign, but it actually looks pretty badass. So unfortunately, that's not going to be on the list today. It will be on a list in the future, however. And
So stay tuned.
yeah, subscribe and hit that bell icon. Don't be stingy.
Yeah,
and what
come
does
on,
it
it's
cost
free.
you?
Crying
It's-
out loud.
There's
You sell your soul to like us, but you've already done it. It's gone.
yeah, you're listening. Don't be a consumer, be a contributor because we want you. And comment down below.
Yeah, comment. We like those. We
My-
don't read them, but we know when we get a lot that it's a good thing.
Well, if I can sound it out, I'll read it.
Yeah, I can't read, so you read them to me, and sometimes I get bored. And
And
I'll
then,
like,
but sometimes you
"Oh."
get angry though,
I get angry. Yeah.
especially in the middle of the night. You'll just scream.
Oh, you wake me up to read me comments. Yeah, no kidding. But anyhow, tell me something a good movie in that, and
Well-
we'll start hammering away at this.
My number 1 of the year is Dune Part 2. I thought it was even better than Dune Part 1. I've come to like Dune Part 1 a lot. And the ending was badass. Austin Butler was super fucking sick. That character, that bald, pale dude.
Oh man,
Really cool. Timothée, which is actually how you pronounce it, Chalamet, he's French, did a good job, which is crazy. He's in 2 Oscar-nominated movies this year. Did you know that?
is he the one about Bob Dylan?
Bob Dylan, yeah. Which
You
is
know-
all right. It was an okay film.
Dylan was a big deal, and maybe they waited too long to make that movie. I mean, he was a really big deal in music and in culture, and I'm like surprised. And then Timothy, whatever,
Timothée Chalamet.
Timmy, is a good actor, and from the trailers that I saw, he sounded a lot like him and looked like him.
Well, to be fair, it's one of those voices that is easier.
Yeah,
than
but
them.
you can really make it sound
Man, we're
stupid.
doing.
Yeah, but you can so easily get carried away with that. You have to show some
Yeah, you have to
restraint.
have subtlety.
Yeah, and I thought I didn't watch the movie. I'd never watch a movie about that. It just those people call
You've
them
watched
biopics.
so
I
many
think they're
of those,
called
though.
biopics. I think they should be called biopics.
I say both.
Yeah,
I like to. It's called code switching.
yeah,
I'll do that.
yeah. So that was he was in two of those. That was great.
You saw the one about Elton John. You saw the one about
Yeah.
Queen.
I didn't see the one about Queen.
You didn't?
No,
I thought you did. Okay. You saw the one about Johnny Cash.
no.
All right. Well, fuck it.
So I saw one.
Whatever. You've seen one.
You've seen.
Would I recommend it?
the one about
Cash
Dylan?
is all right. Here's the thing. You've seen the Ballad of Dewey Cox, which I think you have.
Yeah,
It makes watching, I think it's called I Walk the Line, with Joaquin Phoenix.
yeah.
It makes it feel a little silly because they kind of use how the movie's set up,
The same
the
way.
structure.
Yeah.
And they do that for that film.
Okay.
So it's like, it's like watching Scream right after you watch Scary Movie.
Yeah.
It's like you've
Yeah.
seen it parodied, so it makes it feel a little
And
silly.
you feel as if it was silly.
Yeah. But it is still, Johnny Cash is awesome. And get this. Bob Dylan has more monthly listeners on Spotify currently than Johnny Cash, which I was surprised by because I'm a Cash fan myself.
Is Johnny Cash alive?
No. How don't you know that? Where do you...
Oh, on Spotify.
You in
oh,
preschool?
okay. I thought you meant a podcast. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
No, I'm not in preschool.
Are you,
I'm not
are you
stupid.
dullard?
So, okay, he explained that wrong, so therefore I didn't understand.
Do you even know who Johnny Cash is?
Shut up. I'll
I
hurt
will.
you.
Folsom Blues. Folsom.
Yeah, I
Prison
know who
Blues?
Johnny Cash is.
Hurt.
Yeah, I know. I'm quite familiar with him.
Dum, 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 dum.
He was a bad man, a man in black.
I had a very deep voice, and I only bring it up because there's a guy who plays Johnny Cash in the Bob Dylan movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I saw a video, and this is a little off topic, but somewhat
relevant.
John Lennon was...
Got assassinated. Did you know that?
Yeah, you and your random facts in the middle of my stories, they just want to make me hurt you so badly. John Lennon and this, I don't know if it was Bo Diddley or who it was, but they're jamming out. I mean, two like really legendary.
Oh, I saw it. Yoko Ono's in it.
Yeah, she
It was,
starts singing.
The guy who sings Chuck Berry.
That's it, Chuck Berry. So, legends. I mean, this is like
One of the greatest guitarists of all time.
I mean, just two people that, like, when
One
they
of
get
the-
together, it's like you have to record it.
Yeah, and a member
for
of the Beatles.
Posterity, all right?
Yeah.
And this lunatic, she was always crazy, weird. I don't know what he saw in her. And then she starts screeching or whatever. It's like, just go. You're not an artist, you idiot. Get off the stage.
But she thought she was. And she tried to screw John Lennon's son out of his not even I don't even know about inheritance, but some of his possessions,
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't.
Maybe it was the gold record that you get or platinum records, stuff not even monetary.
He was an artist for a while. This was one son, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it was one song that he did. I think
It's a big shadow to live up to.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Has anyone really? I guess maybe George Bush. His dad was a president. He became president.
Lived up to their.
Yeah, but when you have a dad that's that big of a deal, it's kind of.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
You get screwed.
Yeah.
It's like being Michael Jordan's son. You play basketball and everyone's like, yeah, you're good, but
Yeah.
you're not your dad.
Not MJ. Yeah.
And that's what Bob Dylan. How was it a big deal when he started using electric guitar? Was it really?
Yeah.
They made that a big deal in the movie.
It was huge. It was huge because that's Don. He was a folk singer.
Well, that's
It
what
was like
I
voice
knew
of
him
the
as.
people type thing. And,
Yeah.
You know, and
Was it for good though? I mean, I honestly, the songs he played in the movie as a folk singer were the ones I was familiar with. Mm-hmm. So it's not even like he picked up commercial success or like
by doing that.
cultural.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard. I was never a Dylan fan. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's prior to my musical listening and shit. But I knew that was like such a big deal when he did that. I mean, he was a certain type of artist that people considered him a pure, because he didn't have a great voice.
Yeah.
He wrote well.
Yeah.
And he performed. It was good music and everything, but like a true kind of folk singer type person, and told stories through his songs and stuff like that. Tried to talk about the times they were living in and everything. So,
which I think was big for folk singers because they made it seem as though in the movie that people were talking about like very old stuff, and he was the first one to talk about relevant stuff in his songwriting.
Like a current event.
Yeah, that folk singers would kind of talk about like
1930s.
Paul Bunyan and stuff like that.
Ride the railroad.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they kind of did. I mean, I don't know a lot of folk music, but that's kind of how it is. It's not current happenings or current culture that they talk about.
Yeah, and he's living during a very, what's the word? There's a lot of shit going on.
Turbulent.
Turbulent is the word. Yeah, because I think it was like late 60s, I think. Because I think they mentioned Martin Luther King being assassinated. Or JFK. No. It was early 60s. They mentioned JFK getting assassinated.
Yeah.
And I bet you're probably impressed that I knew early 60s. It was 63. November 24th? Or was it November 23rd?
I think it was my birthday.
Well, you can give that away.
Birthday.
Don't try to log in on Dadman's Facebook account.
Not the actual date, but...
Wait, was it a year after?
So I'm not going to say that. What the year? The year was like 1983. So that makes me, whatever.
It makes me 20.
28. I sound really old for my age.
No, you sound sick, and you should tell the people that you're putting in the work, even though you're
Putting in the work. Even though
he has walking pneumonia, which kills a lot of people.
I have RSVDP, which is
that's a venereal
hybrid
disease, right?
in some cultures, but in others it's just like more of a flu.
Can men get venereal diseases?
I hope you're not asking me seriously.
Can they?
Of course not. No, I can't. Did you know?
Can I say something that's slightly off topic?
Kind of your.
This is on record, but off record. So
don't record it or anything. Go ahead.
One of the superpowers about my sense of humor is that
Nobody
you can be that's true. You can be retarded, and people don't know. Okay, so sometimes you're being smart. You're being a smart ass, and people think you're retarded. But sometimes you're retarded, and people think you're smart.
I know. That's my thing too.
I
love asking like this crazy stupid. I'll give you an example. I play pickleball in this place I play at. They had these really terrible nets, and they bought 2 new ones, identical, pack, whatever. So we're breaking down at the end of the night, and so they got one of the nets out, and they're putting it away and stuff like that. And they just got it into the bag, and I said, no, that's the wrong bag for that one. And then my girl's like, well, I don't. And sometimes I'll tell them when you roll the net up,
Roll it the other way.
You have to roll counterclockwise. And well, what do you have to do that for? It's like, I don't know. It just doesn't work the other way. So that's something that brings me joy.
And it is a fun thing to do. Because sometimes they take you serious.
I was in Walmart. There were 7 people in their stupid, whatever they're called, vests. Mm-hmm. And
Were they the thing checkers?
no, they worked there. It was like around Christmas. And I said, do you guys work here? I just thought that was really funny. And one kid said, no, we just dress alike or something like that. And I should have just pretended like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you worked. You know what I mean? But I said, oh, I'm just kidding. You know.
You should have been like, why would you choose such stupid shirts?
Why would you pick something so gay to work?
You guys look gay together. So that is, what's it called? I'm sorry.
Dune.
I'm sorry, y'all. Well, we're going to talk about Dune because we
Dune.
really didn't talk about it. But we did talk about A Complete Unknown. And that's the Bob Dylan movie. But my number... Yeah, I don't know what... It's my favorite. It feels like this year's Oppenheimer. I hope it wins Best Picture, though I probably wouldn't be upset if even my current number 2 wins it. Or my current... Honestly, 1 through 4, if they win it, I wouldn't be... I don't even know if...
Boy, you're really beating around the bush here, aren't you? Why don't you tell us the name of something?
Well, my number 2 wasn't nominated for Best Picture. My number 3 was not either. They should have been, in my opinion. My number 4 was. So if the number 4 one wins, I'll be okay. My 2 and 3 should have been nominated, especially above fucking Amelia Perez. We'll talk about that for a couple minutes right now, and then we'll get to Dune. Okay? It just shouldn't have been nominated. That's all I'm going to say.
We've kicked that horse.
We have. Because
The last episode,
it's literally...
I think we really kicked
Yeah, you guys got to check that out. We did a whole parody episode, and
was
no one
awesome.
watched it. You guys are being gay. You're not
Oh,
cool.
man.
I know. These people, you do your song and dance, and then when they're done with you, they just throw you out
away
with the
like
trash.
Yeah. So tell me who your 2, 3, and 4 are.
Okay, so do you want to talk about Dune? Anything you want to say about Dune?
Well, we can talk about that, but
Oh, okay.
you've been
My
alluding to these.
number 2 I want to say is Challengers.
All right, number 3.
No. We have to talk about that.
No, we don't.
It's good.
Okay, I know
I gotta
it's
clip,
tennis.
I gotta
Nobody
clip
cares.
this. I gotta clip this. Gotta make clips, man. That's the economy of YouTube. I want to hear
is
you hate on the movie while
What was it about? I mean,
Okay, so-
no.
no, I'll
I know
tell
what
you.
it's about. Don't tell me. I know.
they're not gay.
I know they're not gay.
They do some gay stuff though. They
Well, that
kind of
doesn't
love each
bother me.
other. The men.
Who cares?
Do you know what cuckolding is? That's
I
Shakespeare.
do know what that is. All
That's
right,
part
listen.
of this
no
film.
one cares. Okay, move on. What's number 3?
No. We have to talk about it.
You got to talk about real fast because it's stupid.
I'll talk in a fast tone, but we got to get at least 5 to 6 minutes. Out of this.
No.
We gotta. It's gotta be its own video, man. This is number 2 on the list. And then we gotta talk about
That
Dune
movie.
more. Yeah.
Let's
It's
go to
good.
Dune. Let's talk about Dune.
We will.
This is
We
gonna
will.
be painful.
First and foremost, Zendaya. One of the best actresses of.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I think she is nominated. If not, she should be. Do I think she should win?
In Dune. Or for challenges.
Oh no! For challengers, yeah.
Okay. Which
She's good in Dune.
Yeah. She's okay.
But very good performance, and the 2 guys are also pretty good performances. Here's something about it that you would actually like. It is a very cool examination of sports psychology, which I think you would appreciate because we love sports a lot, and I think you understand that if you're mentally, you have to engage. You have to engage. Sports psychology is
Okay,
interesting.
maybe whatever. I don't know.
Because the one guy, he is a cuck, and he's kind of a little bitch boy, and he doesn't play well with with pressure.
Okay.
It follows their story from high school to like mid career, like actually kind of at the end of what a tennis career would be. Like
The end of it?
near the end, so like 3 more of your prime, near the end of your prime.
Well, how old were they?
That's what I'm trying to remember. I would maybe 28. So a 10-year gap.
Oh, okay, all right. This chick was with them this whole time?
Yeah. Well, okay.
Does
So
she not have a life?
she was with the first
She
guy.
broke her ankle or knee or something.
She tore her knee up pretty bad. So she was with the one guy, goes to Stanford with the other guy. Okay, I'll say brunette and blonde because I don't even remember their names, and I could look at it's right
Nobody
there.
cares.
I could literally look at it, but you would
Boy
get
one,
upset
boy
about
two.
that.
Okay.
Brunette and blonde. That
Right,
way you'll
got
be
it.
able to distinguish. Okay, so she's dating the brunette, and he's kind of more like a cocky, selfish guy, whereas the blonde is kind of like more codependent, actually. So he caves into her more, but he's because he needs. Right? You get that.
Right.
Psychologically.
Insecure, whatever.
But the brunette that's more attractive to females. They don't want.
They don't want dependent.
Yeah, they want the cocky asshole.
Right.
So she's dating the brunette. She gets her knee fucked up after they get in a fight. That's why they break up. And she's at Stanford with the blonde. And the injury and the fight brings those two together slightly. They, I think, break up. And she ends up coming back to be his coach, the blonde's, later on. Okay?
A coach.
Yeah, because her knee's fucked.
Well, I know. Doesn't mean. I mean, she hasn't done anything.
She was a junior
Olympiad?
whatever, yeah, something like that. Okay. Whatever's a big deal for
For women's tennis.
well, and the brunette was the male equivalent to what she won.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Anywho, the blonde becomes a really good player, and then he has injuries or whatever, and he has like this mental block where he's starting to play really bad. Like he's in a rut. She puts him in a challenger tournament, which is basically like people who are trying to qualify for a major tournament.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to go there to just spank everyone's to get back
Right.
on the good side. And the other guy, the brunette, his career never took off. And he's there because he actually needs the
get
money. And that's the
Yeah.
only way he can get in. And they face each other. And despite the blonde having a way more successful career every time they've played, like for the junior championship thing, brunette beat him. And now the brunette's like got him on the ropes in the game. And it comes up that the brunette fucked Zendaya while she was married to the blonde. And not only while they were dating, but he started with her. And it just kind of gets in the blonde's head. But the ending is like this competition level like actually brings out the best in both of them.
Okay. All right.
It was really well done. I know you don't like cuckolds. You don't like tennis. But I thought it was good.
No, I mean, if you
And
like
I'm
that,
not
I probably
scared to
would.
say
I'm
it.
not. I don't. I just there's. You get set in your ways, and even movies that you end up watching and liking prior to that, you're like, I'd never like that, and it probably, I don't know. I just any love related thing. I'm sorry, I just have no interest.
Yeah, but it's not. It's more of a realistic look at. I mean, there may be a little bit more
relationship.
sociopathic. These characters.
Well, I mean, competitive athletes are like that.
Well, then yeah, it
mean, they
feels
have to
more
be.
rooted in real. It's not romanticized.
Okay.
That's why I
So
don't
what's
call
number 3 on your list? I'm sorry, I don't mean to be, but I think.
Well, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. And it's my number 2 on the list.
Come on, okay.
It's my number 2, dude.
All right.
Dude,
What did you give Dune? 7 out of 5?
4.5 out of 5.
Well, that's what you gave Challenger.
Yeah, but it's rated number 1. Do we talk about Dune now? Let's talk about Dune now. What say you? What did you
Sure.
like about it?
Well, I mean, I'm going to say this. I read the book, so I knew. I mean, I loved the villain. It was so good, just incredible.
Oh, the gladiator scene on that planet. Do you remember that?
Salsa Secundus.
That was
So
one of the
so-
coolest scenes of all.
Yeah, because of the lighting. Now that
Yeah, it was just in
cinematography's
black
got to
and white.
got to win, and it's not true black and white.
Yeah, it took all the saturation out.
Yeah. And they did those like fireworks, which were like really kind of weird. Remember that?
I don't remember the fireworks. I just remember the look.
They like imploded or something. Well, if you
Oh, I might remember actually.
and then but the cinematography was just so incredible for that. And then oh my god, he's so good. There's like just this feral aspect about that character.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's highly intelligent, but just so
Animalistic.
Machiavellian. I like to pull that word out of the back
Explain
pocket.
what that means to the
Completely
audience
ruthless,
members.
and you know, just whatever needs to be done in order to succeed.
And it's called that because
Of Machiavelli, who wrote The
Prince?
Prince. Yes, I can't remember his first name, but it's just about whatever needs to be done in order to be, for the prince in this case to succeed, to be a competent ruler, will be done, should be done.
would you recommend that book,
No,
Prince? Really?
well, I didn't read it. I just know the concept.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I didn't know what Machiavellian meant. That's why I had you explain it.
Okay,
I've heard it numerous times. What's draconian?
that means very like if it's severe punishment. It's like a draconian
Why?
measures are.
Or why is it called that? Because draconian sounds like dragon, and it almost sounds, because I think that's Romanian for dragon.
Draco?
Yeah, well, because Dracula is dragon.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I mean, it's like if you were want to make draconian cuts to like a social program, it's a super heavy reduction.
Like USAID.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now they know we're in the United States. Great.
Well, now they know you have AIDS.
Why do I hang out with you? I don't understand.
Yeah, I liked. I think the best part, we can all agree on this, Christopher Walken.
He was pretty.
Some people didn't like it. They really hated his inclusion. I didn't mind.
It didn't
There was
do
so
anything.
much shit going on.
It didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're like, he comes in with his New York accent.
he does.
It's like that. I mean, it's him. And
Well, we
granted,
don't
maybe you
have
get
New York
another.
accent. If you're the emperor
Yeah.
of this enormous, interplanetary empire.
I will say that. So I watched Gladiator 2, and Denzel Washington's in that, and he kind of does
Yeah.
a New York accent, and people
Yeah.
are saying he got snubbed for not getting nominated, and I'm like, I like the performance too, but I've seen people like, oh, Christopher Walken, what the fuck was that? And then other people love
I did
Denzel
not
Washington.
see Gladiator 2, but from the scenes that I've seen as trailers, like, I don't know who this character's supposed to be. I mean, he's from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
He's,
But it just seems like his accent doesn't...
you're supposed to. Well, he's an
He's-
former slave.
He's like super flamboyant. Not flamboyant.
Yeah.
But, engaging and so forth.
Yeah, charismatic.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it sounds like he's just speaking American English.
The key is you're supposed to not know where he's from, but I mean, because
Well,
of
he's
his-
not from Spain. Okay?
I don't know. Some people get tan over there.
I mean, it's the Roman Empire. There's not many places. He's not from the
Dude,
Caribbean.
I didn't know that they based the emperors in Gladiator 1 and 2 on real life emperors.
I actually didn't know. I'm not terribly surprised, but
When they were talking about Marcus Aurelius, which is in the first one, and I just didn't pick up on that, but they mentioned him more in 2. I was like, fuck, this
he was
is
a real
real.
empire, yeah.
Yeah.
Emperor.
And
Joaquin Phoenix portrayal.
Lucius, that's who he is.
Oh, it's Lucius.
Commodus.
Lucius Commodus.
Yeah.
He was awesome. He was incredible.
Well,
really
he's
was
considered
incredible.
like one of the fucking most brutal Roman emperors, as are the twins that are the emperors during Gladiator 2.
Oh, they have twin emperor.
And it's fun. Well, I didn't realize that there was 2 like horrifically bad emperors like that close in real time for a plot line to be instilled over the course of like
Of their lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. It's just interesting. But
Yeah. So some historical fiction aspect of the movie.
the commode is named after Commodus.
Commodus.
Just a little fun fact for you. And then yeah, the twins. It's like
Boy, he must have been a very popular emperor.
yeah.
Let's name something associated with shit to this guy.
Well, they're like because Marcus Aurelius was such a badass, and he was probably just a spoiled fuck, Lucius Commodus, that it's never a good combo.
Yeah. Who was
'Cause
Marcus? Was that?
he's the
Crow?
guy who wrote. No, it's the older guy who tells Russell Crowe like I want you to take up after, or I want you to marry my daughter.
And turn it into a republic.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the father. Okay.
And it's called he writes about Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius. It's
okay.
The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. It also goes by another title, a very, very popular book even nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know a lot about Stoicism?
I know what stoic means.
Yeah, so Stoicism it's to not like overinvest energy in things. It's like things are going to be the way they are whether you react or not.
Yeah.
So it's not worth reacting to. And
That sounds like the Scientologists are kind of like that.
say that again.
The Scientologists, I think I've heard that they like when they're in social situations, they kind of keep to themselves and they don't try to overreact or be get overly involved in stimuli or things that are happening.
Well, I think Tom Cruise is a good example of that because I've never seen him get upset.
Yeah, he generally doesn't. I mean, it's not a bad philosophy.
That was sarcasm,
I mean,
but-
wait. Okay.
There's been a few interviews where he just
Okay,
he gets
yeah,
really
I know. It
pissed
went
off.
crazy. Oh, yeah. Somebody squirted water at him. He got really.
Why would you do that?
Well, he had a point, though.
Oh, that one, yeah.
You should have punched him.
He
I
does
used to not
have
like
good
him. I don't
points.
dislike him at all.
I don't dislike him either.
I mean, they made that big thing about him being in, everybody knew he was in it, and he did an interview where he talked about it a little bit. And he was kind of evasive and, and whatever. I don't care. I mean, he's not doing anything illegal. Although he did give really one super bizarre interview where he made it sound like Scientologists were like Jedi Knights or something. Just them being like on the scene of an accident or something is just enough to make everything fine.
Yeah, well, he's expected to, I guess, be a spokesperson, and maybe they're like, we got to recruit. They're always recruiting. Always.
Yeah,
Always
they
trying to get
prefer
people to
they
join.
like people in the entertainment industry.
Well, yeah, because they're like walking promotions.
Billboards.
Yeah, advertisements is what I call them
Advertisement is what they call it
in
UK.
England over the lake.
Pond, they call it a pond. You are so bad at that.
My number 3 is Civil War, and actually, the average rating is not as high as I would expect for this. I'm kind
I
of
gotta watch that.
You should.
Is that got that Plemons kid in it, Jesse Plemons?
Yeah, he does a cameo, I would call it.
Is that it? Why?
Like a short. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's probably because of him. Maybe. But he makes a great impact in his scene.
I've seen, I've been watching him since he was on,
Friday Night Lights. The
well,
TV
then,
show.
the TV, yeah, you're right, with that,
Fargo.
in Fargo, yeah. He was in Fargo, one season of Fargo.
Sometimes I know you better than you know you. Did you know that?
I know. I'll call you and ask you questions about myself.
Like with your
Like, what
social
do I like to
security
eat?
number,
Yeah.
which is 146
What's my name again?
557 18 0. Do you like what I did there?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I get it.
It was one number less than what a social security number is.
Well, I was one of the first ones to get one. So they didn't have to have as many.
You're one of those people who's 300 who's still getting social security.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
How about that?
that's probably not what they'd call good financial controls. And you're in the biz, and I
Well, what
was
is
in the
that?
biz.
What happens to where are they sending that money? What happens to it?
I don't even know if they're necessarily sending the money to them money. They are, from my understanding, they are just in the system. But I don't know if they're actually getting money. But the thing is I don't think they know. So you have to kind of figure out
who should be in the system still.
Right.
Oh.
I mean, it doesn't have to be dead nuts accurate, but it's got to be. You can't have people 250 years old in there. I mean, like
Well,
from
the
people
variance
from
should be
130 to 140, there was like 3 million people.
Yeah.
I mean, look, that's only roughly 1% of our population, but that's a lot. I mean, if you added all the ones up over like 110 years old, which there's probably 5 people in the United States over 110.
Right.
It's probably 10 million people.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you're dealing with money. You're dealing with, billions, many, many billions of dollars. You can't be that inaccurate.
Right.
I mean, they won't pass an audit. I mean, they won't let anybody do one, but, it's got to be somewhat close. It's got to be materially accurate.
Right. Yeah, millions just sounds crazy.
Of people. And people have benefits.
Yeah.
In the thousands, so you start doing the math and you come up to some really big numbers. Anyhow, so Civil War, I guess I have to watch that now. You never told me that you liked that.
Oh, yeah, I really liked it. And I think a lot of people because if you watch the trailer, you might think, oh, this is like a January 6th scathing type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just more, I think it's way more down the middle.
Oh, fine. I mean, because I don't want it injected in it, either way. I mean, I don't want to see, I'm not going to talk about my politics. I don't want to see that in it.
Which I assumed it was going to be very liberal because Nick Offerman, who's a very diehard liberal, plays the president.
Okay.
And the president is like on the way out. Like everything is going bad. There's a fucking civil war going on.
Right.
Actively. And it happened under this president, which is not good.
Good. Makes you look as a bad leader, I'd think.
And they the thing, they want to get an interview with the president. And
because they're press people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a movie about press. Mm-hmm. Is really what it is. It's not a political, because you don't know what is causing the divide, which I like. And you could make one where you do know the divide, and it could be really interesting too. Mm-hmm. You have to fully flesh out both sides if you want to do that and make it appealing or thoughtful. Because otherwise, I agree with the side that's good, or I disagree with it. Yeah.
They're either tyrants or they're patriots.
Yeah, exactly. So it just in this case, it's a big deal to try to get, because he's been closed off and just talking to the people through television, internal broadcast type deal.
Yeah,
controlled, not interviewed. I'm telling, the fireside chats.
Yeah.
If we were fighting a civil war.
Yeah.
Type deal. So Kirsten Dunst is like a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, grizzled vet. She's been through some shit. I think everything is fictionalized history. So it's like she basically got the picture of the Ukraine war in their universe type deal.
Right.
Or she was in Gaza and got this insane shot to capture the action.
She's a photojournalist.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And there's this chick, a younger lady. Her name is Kaylee Spaney, which is funny to say. It's a fun name. She wants to learn her heroes, Kirsten Dunst, and there's this mentor-pupil type relationship. They think she's too young to be with them because they're literally going to go to the Capitol because they were just photoing riots, but they're like, yo, like the one guy wants to get an interview, she wants to get the shot of that. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, yeah, the riots are going to the Capitol and they're going to overthrow Nick Offerman.
Okay.
And it's like, we have to capture that. And there's a really cool...
No, I agree. It's just, when that's going on... Go ahead. Keep going. I just went up.
Well, there's a really... The ending's really good. So I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to give away.
I think that's all fairly believable. My only thing is like... An American Civil War is devastating.
They do a very, very good job.
I mean, it's bleak. During and after, regardless of how it plays out.
Yeah,
it's hard to like restart that engine, the American economic engine, and politically and everything. It's once you break it, it's very difficult to get back. So. At that point of time in my life, regardless of my career,
when you were living during the first Civil War,
no, but you're talking about the grizzled vet. I kind of get, but if you're the understudy or whatever, I'm more concerned about food. Like when the shit hits the fan, you worried about bullets, gold, and canned goods,
or water.
And water. I mean that you sink down to
toilet paper.
The primary. You don't even care that much about that. You're more
land. Do you hear about land? I'm sorry.
So you're making it hard. But I mean it's like the people who like the first responders, right? Mm-hmm. And they're great people, all that, and they are dedicated. But when the shit really hits the fan, they run home. Everybody runs home. People forget or don't forget. They just like they got it. It's like I have a family.
What about the New York Fire Department?
That wasn't an American Civil War. It was isolated tragedy, and it was obviously, but their job.
Can we get a moment of silence for the FYND?
Moment of silence.
Or what is it? Not NYFD.
And PD. They're PD.
And PD. Okay.
That's long enough.
That was a good moment.
We have 7 minutes of silence.
I understand that it didn't detract.
No,
it's a fish out of water dynamic, anyways. Because you shouldn't be here. That's one of the through lines.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
like. But also, if you're very,
it's like, I'm going to win a Pulitzer Prize. It's like you're going to die in 4 days.
Yeah.
Figure priorities out. For someone
young, and it's like, hey, I've always wanted to be this.
I mean, look, there has to be suspension of disbelief that sometimes I don't turn off. I haven't watched the movie, so it may be like I would never even think of it during the movie. It's just when thinking about it, not seeing it, and just my cynicism is like, okay, this is my interpretation of basic human behavior. When it's really hit the fan hard,
Schnit.
People, they're not going for a photograph. Okay? Because
Nickelback would.
Nickelback would.
Don't make you look at the photograph.
I think you have a mental illness regarding this stream of consciousness that you have. You'll hear something and it'll be similar to another phrase, and then you'll, like I said last episode, it takes all kinds to make a world.
I said it takes a village.
It takes a village, and then you just went off a field with it, and I forgot why I even said what I said.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah. No, I think it. Hopefully, people don't think we're.
Well, that's what schizophrenia is. That's what schizophrenia is. Did you know that?
No, actually, it's not.
It's the peaks and valleys between neurons in your brain. A schizophrenic's valleys are too low, so ideas they flow too freely. So they will start to associate crazy shit with their paranoia and come up with...
That kind of makes sense.
which I never realized. You just
So
think,
it's like the associations everybody, normal people, I'm not saying I'm normal, but I'm close, have in their heads that you make. Mm-hmm. That theirs, because of their
they can link
brain
this
links,
to this.
that, or not, there's no relation.
Exactly.
Okay.
I saw a graphic illustration of it. It's really interesting.
Well, they used to, bipolar, people that are bipolar, that's what people used to consider schizophrenia before, that they had two personalities. That's what they thought schizophrenia, and I don't think it is anymore.
No. Well, that's not what it is.
Yeah.
And even
that's
bipolar
DID,
isn't. Yeah,
even if
and
that's
DID
even
is
real.
not even real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bipolar. It's really not. It's just like,
Bipolar is just a switch between.
Mania and depressive.
Right.
Manic
right,
depressive.
Right. Well, that's
what it
something
is.
different, too. Anyway, what was your fourth movie? Did you have, or was that Dune? Or was it Dune?
No, Dune is one for everyone at home. Challengers 2, Civil War 3, and people are like, I made a list, and they're like, nice to see Civil War get its praise, because it's just not a lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, because I look at these sites and talk about movies. I just look at all of these sites because there's all these lists like this should never been made, this lost a bunch of money, this blah blah, and I never see Civil War in any of it.
Yeah, I like the director. He did Annihilation, which I really liked.
Annihilation was pretty good.
He did Ex Machina, which is really really good. He did Men, which I think is a liberal tint, or it's an anti-masculinity type of movie. I haven't seen it. It's called Men.
Okay.
Which I think was another reason I thought Civil War was going to have a really bad liberal bent to it. But I think if I went in expecting that, so maybe it just wasn't as bad as what I expected.
Right. It wasn't, yeah.
But it wasn't glaring, so I was like, oh, fuck.
I
liked
deal
it.
with that, yeah.
My number 4, you're going to love it. They're going to love it. It is Anora. Sean Baker. It is about a stripper who finds
a Russian
a whale, which that's what they call it in gaming.
Yeah, I know what
a big spender,
right?
Who basically
we talked about
pays
this
her.
movie.
Well, I did, but not for this episode.
Okay.
So, anywho, after I was really interrupted.
But we know we had to talk about this movie again. What is it with you and love movies, man? You're terrible.
It's a comedy.
It's going to be super funny for me to laugh.
The romance is not. There's like, I don't even romance. People wouldn't consider a romance. It's not romance because it's. I don't know how much I want to give away. I'm going to give everything away. So skip to here. I'll give you a timestamp on the screen. If you don't want to know spoilers, and because you don't give a shit, I'll spoil it for you. So she's a stripper, Russian dude, really likes her, pays her to be his girlfriend. Then they get married in Vegas. Well, his parents are like oligarchs in Russia. They're big deal. They find out that he got married to a stripper. Try to get it annulled. And when they send their like fix me people, their gophers or whatever, that is when the comedy starts. And it, like I told you,
it could be funny.
It gets pretty funny because actually the first half you're like, it's entertaining, but I mean there's like sex scenes, which in film it's like I basically could do without them.
Yeah, they don't have to. I mean,
I used to get uncomfortable watching them. I don't get uncomfortable anymore, but now I'm like, whatever. It was a little bit much in this film.
I don't know if it adds all that much.
I don't think so either. I mean, I love Tarantino, and I don't remember any love scenes in his movies.
No, you're right. That's a good point.
None. You really don't need him. And what, Scorsese, does he have a lot? I don't really think so.
No.
Yeah,
it does not in Casino and not in Goodfellas.
Yeah, they'll get to the beginning of something and then just.
Yeah. But But okay, but if they want to do that, whatever. I don't know if it helps or hurts or whatever.
Yeah. So there's these Fix Me people. They're basically just trying to get them together so they can take it to a judge and just get it annulled and good as new. And she is, I don't want to say trashy.
It's just stripper.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying
they certainly think your
Yeah.
thought process. She's kind of, I don't know, what the way she speaks is kind of like rough around the edges. Mm-hmm. And she tries to be nice to the parents when she finally meets them. That's not for a while, but she's rough around the edges. She's like combative, a little belligerent. Understandably though, because they're like literally trying to kidnap her. She's like, "No, we're married," because she's like, "Hey, I have secured the bag. You know what I mean? This fuckhead's gonna have to pay me if we actually get a divorce."
Yeah.
So the people have her like tied up, and the dude ran away as soon as they got there. Like the two handymen or whatever, the henchmen.
Yeah.
So then, they have her tied up, and they're like, all right, we have to find him.
To get them together to get an annulment.
Yeah. And he's like on a bender, basically. I don't know why. He decides this is a good time to like get drunk and just go around Manhattan. They find him at the strip club that she used to work at, and he's like getting a lap dance by her ex-coworkers because she quit once she
Got married.
Yeah. She doesn't really care because she thinks that she can still convince him, like, hey, let's
Stay together.
Yeah. The dude is still drunk when they finally corral him, take him to the judge, and they realize it can't get annulled in New York because they got married in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So this is where the parents get involved because they have to get a private jet because they're like, we're getting this annulled today. Mm-hmm. The parents show up. The girl tries to, like, hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Like, be respectful towards them. And they're like, they want nothing to do with her. Like, they don't like her at all. Which is kind of funny. And the guy's like, the kid is just like completely, I would say, in denial of the whole situation. He's like, yeah, I fucked up. I'm an idiot. Like, he's used to fucking up majorly,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, so we'll just get this taken care of, and then I can do whatever I want again. Gets annulled in Las Vegas, and the chick kind of earns the respect, or comes to respect one of the dudes who was a handyman who was kind of like sticking up for her through the time, and that's the true romance at the end.
Oh, that'd be cool. Those are the ones I kind of like those for some reason.
Yeah, because it's not forced. You would be able to tell because the guy is definitely the only one who's not an asshole. Mm-hmm. But she like really fucking hates him to begin with. And then starts hating him slightly less, very near the end, and then. But I liked it, and I think the chick, Mikey Madison, should, in my opinion, get Best Actress.
Really?
As of now, yeah. Now, will that change after I watch I'm Still Here? Probably, because I think the main character is an actress from a fucking Denis Villeneuve movie, which was really good, Incendies. It looks like the same chick. So I expect her performance to be really good. But yeah, so far I think her performance is the best.
Wow. Okay, for a comedy.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is, because she's so... It's funny in a like, formulaic comedy way.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Super offbeat, not... That's...
I'm going to check that out now.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I think it's really good. And number 5, Nosferatu 2. But they should have had more diversity. That's my take on that.
We did discuss that.
Yeah, check out our other episode.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, people don't
We'll
understand.
get physically violent with you.
Beyond entertainment, way far beyond entertainment in that episode that we did. Oh my God, you'll learn so much. You know, all the money, like think of it as a DEI weekend with the best DEI trainers
You could ever
immersed within that.
No, I think submerged works better.
Yeah, okay. But, I mean, it changed. It's life-changing.
It's history changing.
Yeah, it definitely did that already. I like to talk
And
about
not in
that.
a way that it's like going to change what history is going to be for now. It changes what history,
In a different timeline.
in the past. It changes things that have already happened.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking
Which is
about.
really hard to do. In a podcast.
Yeah, I don't know how it does that, but
You just have to assume. I just assumed.
I think people will understand when they hear it.
Yeah. It's one of those things you have to experience.
So what are some of the ones that you've seen?
It's like, what's it like getting shot in the face? It's like you can't explain it.
Yeah.
You have to experience it. Oh, we're going to talk about long legs. Right?
Yes. Now, has your opinion changed on that?
It's a movie that sticks with you.
Very much so. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know, just the weirdness just kind of creeps into your soul a little bit.
Now, this is one of the technical aspects that I thought was really well done that someone else mentioned is the framing of specific scenes was really well done, especially the intro, if you remember that. It was actually kind of like weirdly boxed in.
That was the car pulling up the driveway.
Yeah.
So that was him.
And then the opening was fucking amazing. Because I remember, I swear, I was like, did we just see his face? It was scary without actually doing anything scary. It was like almost just kind of the reveal of his face. And I don't even remember if you saw his face in the opening.
Yeah.
You did?
I think real briefly.
Real brief. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't
maybe
even
when
know
he
if
was showing
he's-
his face when he was talking about it's your almost birthday, and
Yeah.
here I am with my long legs, and
It is so fucking creepy.
this is a small point about cinematography. They did a scene, and it wasn't even relevant. It was just, but when I saw it, I'm like, this is good cinematography. I think they were in the barn, and there's a doorway, and they did some kind of pan, not a pan going across, not pan, but like a zoom through the doorway, and it
Like a
just,
trolley shot where it's on a track and it tracks behind them.
it wasn't like it just the expanse that you saw or something like that. It was just really because I think they really spent some time and thought about some of those types of scenes.
Yeah.
It was certainly a slow burn, but you're like, what's going on the whole time? What's
Yeah.
going on? What's with this girl?
Yeah. And I think there might be a feeling amongst audience members that how everything was resolved, the resolution maybe didn't live up to your expectations. I think that's why people who don't like it didn't.
It was unconventional. It's unorthodox. So for me, the ending was actually more
Impactful.
rational than it could have been. So I thought there was some resolution, I believe. Now I don't understand. There's still kind of the thing. It's like, did she have to shoot that doll, and she couldn't,
Yeah.
or not? Now that I don't know, and that's fine. You don't have to answer the question.
Exactly. Because it makes you ponder it after the
Yes.
fact. I had an answer to that. Because, well, here's the thing. She shot like 3 rounds in her...
There should have been more left.
Yeah. Any revolver or
5.
any pistol is going to have...
revolver's 5. I don't think it was a revolver.
Yeah.
Do you remember when... So there was foreshadowing when she, for some reason, this little girl wanted her to come into her bedroom. Was talking about her birthday and asked her if she would come. She's her, I'll be at your birthday. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Well, she seemed like she was autistic. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with this She's an adult.
I know,
She has
I know, I
no
know.
social skills.
Exactly, but when she said that, I don't know, and then she comes to her birthday, and that kind of tied things together or something. I don't know. It was like inevitable that she would be there.
That is exactly it. And did you notice the revolver she brought? Well, you probably, because you didn't autistically look over the footage after the fact. The weapon she brought was in a childhood box, in the box that had the photo. I'm pretty sure. That's why it only had 3 shots. Like everything that happened up to her not being able to shoot the doll was preordained. You understand? Like from the moment Longlegs came to the property, that the mom started doing this, to her even being in the FBI, like because she had precognition. Like that was a ability given to her via these evil forces for her to be on this case. And here's another thing too. It's the birthday murders and like, well, 'cause I didn't know what I was getting into. So by the time it's so early on when the daughter asks, "Can you come for my birthday?" and you forget about it, you don't really think like, "Holy fuck, that's gonna be a big thing."
What else? There was something else about it. Oh, when she goes into the house in the final. Do you like the guy's name is Blair Underwood, the black FBI guy, and she says something like, "Don't cut the cake" or "Don't do something." He says something, but do you notice his voice? I don't know if you. I know they enhanced the voice somehow.
Oh really?
Yeah,
it
they
sounds
had
like demonic.
Yes.
Okay. Because the thing I remember about that is he's like, he's speaking like euphemistic, which I don't know if that's a word, but in euphemism about it works for, well, it's a double entendre for like, I'm going to cut the cake, I'm going to kill my wife. Like he's saying, I'm going to, or like, oh, I'm going to take care of my wife, but you know what I mean?
Well, another thing is she says, we're going to go in and cut the kitchen and we'll be back out. He's we're going to go cut the kitchen or cut the cake and I'll be back out.
Right.
Yes.
Like they're saying
like,
shit
okay,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is super cool that it's like this type of possession. It's like they're just under the spell.
Yeah. They've lost. They're not in control anymore. And they say things that they shouldn't be saying, that they're admitting to, or he's admitting that he's going to kill her.
So, and this is probably the most interesting aspect that I found out about the film. Also, by the way, I have 2 videos on Longlegs. You watched them. You liked them.
Yes, they were incredible.
You thought there was some good points?
Yes.
And you would recommend it?
Highly.
So, anywho, Osgood Perkins is the son of Anthony Perkins. I've told you this numerous times. But I think now that you've watched the film, you might be able to kind of agree.
Is he the director?
Yeah.
Okay.
Osgood Perkins, the director, is the son of Anthony Perkins, the actor
Psycho.
who is Norman Bates in 1960 Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock. And if you weren't aware, which I did not know this, maybe you did, but Anthony Perkins was married, obviously had Osgood, but was a closeted
He was a homosexual. Yeah.
And he didn't really realize this until Osgood, the son, learned that his dad died of AIDS-related complications. Like, that's how he learned. So, and that's kind of, I think, deeply inspired this movie because his family had this really, not sinister, but this huge secret that he was kind of kept in the dark for his own protection, which mirrors how the agents, it's like, we're protecting
the mother protected the girl from knowing. That she does what she does. She's doing what she's doing to save her. Save the daughter.
Right.
So, that is okay. So he translated that real life situation very well into this movie.
Yeah. That's just another thing. Like,
Well, I'd like to see more from him because he probably hasn't done a lot, has he? Or do you know?
no, there's 2 other ones, and they're like that type of horror.
Well, I mean, so like my hope and guess would be that he just would get better. I
Right.
mean, and not that it's he's not that was like pretty half-assed attempt. It wasn't. It was good, but we could see some really good unorthodox horror from this type of director.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch what he comes out with next because I liked it.
Unless it's
Yeah.
critiqued as being, but this has to have gotten him some kind of play, some kind of leverage in the business.
Huge word of mouth campaign for that movie. Is maybe the biggest.
I'm glad Nicolas Cage did that. I think he
Yeah.
just did it. I mean, he didn't do it for a paycheck. I mean, the guy owns like 2 castles.
Yeah, but he did go bankrupt. Pretty sure.
Yeah,
I think he's past the point of trying to pay back whatever he owed.
Yeah. I mean,
He did this because he believed in the project. I think.
Yeah.
And he put
thankfully-
it on the map. If he didn't do it, this movie does not get as much play.
He does. I mean, it's just this guy is so insane.
Yeah.
Just so insane. That I've never seen a character that just out there,
And I think that like 2 things that I think even just the aesthetic immediately brings to the attention of the audience is he looks like the shell of a person, and he also kind of looks devoid of humanity.
Yeah.
And that is what that character is.
Yeah, because the facial makeup was excellent.
Yeah.
Very good.
And it looks like you're like, oh, is that gonna be silly? If you just saw a still of it, but as you see it in the movie, it works so well.
Yeah.
You're like, that's like what the fuck? What
Yeah,
is
there's
that?
there's people you've seen with
He looks like Honey Boo Boo's mom.
really bad makeup. Well, if she were like 70, yes. he goes into that store. That scene I didn't understand. Was there something I missed where he went into
What
the
the
store?
meaning of it was?
Like the girl says, "Dad, this fucking idiot's in here again." Because didn't he do the thing
Yeah.
with his hands?
Which was really, it was just intriguing. I don't know
Yeah,
if
maybe
was,
it didn't have, and I don't think it did because I maybe was what he bought. I don't know what he bought. It was something like
Yeah, I can't remember. It was a
it was
hardware
two small
store,
things.
I think.
Yeah, it was a small canister of something and another very even smaller canister of something.
Maybe
It was.
he was building like the metal spheres or something.
Oh, maybe yeah.
Well, he was the doll maker, is what he
Yeah.
did. So
Apparently, because well, they had a autopsy person. too.
that scene is so good. He's like, he was whispering things about my ex-wife.
But I'd been up for like the last 18 hours, so. See, that like kind of slips under the radar. But I'm like, no offense, but I'm like, yeah, I know. Because I don't know what they put on it, but it made this like insane sound. It was like
It was like a
outer space.
radiation thing, like a Geiger counter.
Geiger counter. Well, I don't think. Well,
Yeah, maybe not, I don't
because
know.
They'd be like, we got to get the fuck out of here. We're gonna die. Yeah. Radiation.
Maybe
poisoning.
EMF machine.
EMF, electronic magnetic
Magnetic field.
Oh, maybe I don't know if they had things that did that, but they said it's hollow. He said it's hollow. There's nothing in it. It's like it's just. But this is like the brain of the doll. It's like extremely well made by someone who's very good at this. And
I
Now,
like
the
that
girl
movie,
that was
man.
in the barn. That was the doll for
The girl who ends up
the
taking
FBI
her own
girl?
life. No, not the barn doll.
Oh, the girl in the asylum.
Yes.
Okay.
And
How did they let her get off the?
get off
What
the
kind of
roof?
asylum is this?
Yeah.
Oh, she got up on the roof again. But she jumped this time. It's like, would you
And then-
just let her run around?
In the 90s, there's probably were cases of few.
Hopefully it was few. Because, I mean, obviously this woman's incredibly mentally ill.
Well, she was catatonic.
Yeah, I know.
From
She just kind
that
of.
age to now, and then she
Yeah.
has a
So I mean,
awakening.
maybe I'd keep an eye on her a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know.
Where's Lauren? I don't know. I saw her going upstairs. You know, it's like, how did she get on the fucking roof? Anyway, that's me always trying to find the plot holes. Some I
Yeah, well,
overlook
that's a
completely.
movie that
And I don't mind
really
that.
Ignite a lot of.
I mean, she
'cause
could have
it's so
just
weird.
flew out the, just ran and flew out, dove out of.
Well, that's what I probably happened because like the way Nick Cage took his own life was just immediate and brutal.
Well, do you remember the Blair? I keep calling him Blair Underwood because I didn't know his character's name, but that's the black FBI guy. Was like mad at the girl. It's like, well, what do you want me to do? I could have. I guess I could have stopped him, but he, like, where were the guards at? Like, I was in there to talk to him. I'm not there to like. Could you have another person in there?
Yeah.
Just leave this insane person with this new FBI agent who's
Exactly.
like 22. It's like,
Has
you know
no
how crazy he
experience.
is, right? Probably super violent, but go talk to him and don't take any security in with you.
Did you like there was a VHS recording of him talking and he looks to the girl, it says you'll be there, looks to the guy, you'll be there.
Yeah.
It's almost as though it's like he has an extra not terrestrial, but you know what I'm saying, like he has powers beyond our
His physical body.
yeah.
Yeah.
To where he can literally interact with, like, it.
Yeah.
That was a super good. Just tiny details made that film so much
He
better.
did. I mean, and that takes a good eye for, I hate calling them Easter eggs. I mean, it's not a true Easter egg, but it's minor plot points that have significance. And
Callbacks and-
easy to miss if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, it's a film that
I hope
requires.
he does another movie. Oh my god!
Oh,
I
he
love
will.
that.
He will, because he's done. There, one I heard that's pretty decent is called. I think it's The Black Coat's Daughters. I'll look.
So it sounds like he's a horror guy, right?
Yeah, this is his third, and he's doing a film in 2025 called The Monkey. So there you go. I think it's going to be. I'll look at the genre. It is comedy and horror, and people have already maybe watched it. I don't know. Let's look at the releases. So it came out in
Yesterday.
Spain. Oh, that's weird. But theatrically, it's not going to come out in the U.S. until... I don't fucking know. Sorry, guys.
Sometime this decade.
Like, soon. Because it comes out in Canada the 21st. In the U.S. Yeah, so...
February.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy hell. But yeah, The Black Coat Daughters is supposed to be decent.
He's a good-looking cat.
Well, his dad was a famous actor.
Doesn't mean you're going to be good-looking.
No, most actors are good looking.
Well, actually, Perkins was.
For a crazy guy to play crazy.
Yeah.
I liked just quick hitters. I want to give y'all my 6 through 10 and then just recap the list. I thought Conclave was good. Did you watch that?
No.
You should. I think it's on Peacock or some
It
one
is.
of the
Yeah, it's
streaming.
on something.
I would recommend it. I think people think that they bungled the ending. And, like, here's the thing. There's so many reveals. It feels like it could be politically... Well, definitely, because they keep talking about, well, I'm a conservative church... Or he's a conservative churchgoer or fucking pope candidate, whatever, cardinal,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck
Cardinals.
they are. Which I'm Catholic. I should know these things, but I don't.
Kind of stupid.
But if you're like, if you're a conservative cardinal, that's vastly different from like, well, not vastly. I mean, the Catholic right is very conservative on religious matters. I think that goes without saying. And then even liberal cardinals are kind of like
Still.
pretty conservative.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're definitely not like a liberal,
Yeah.
and the ending has some political play where I think some people are like, they bungled it. Whereas I think as far as the narrative, what they're trying to accomplish, and in terms of having an impactful ending, just as a storyteller, it worked for me. So I wasn't offended.
Okay.
And you might be like, but you're so invested at that point anyways.
Okay. All right.
So I thought that was good. Also, Ralph Fiennes, is that how you pronounce it? Fiennes. Really good performance, and he's a good actor.
He's a great actor. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he is, I believe, nominated for Best Actor for that performance. I liked it. Nickel Boys, you probably don't even know what that's about. It's about reform schools during the 60s in Florida, so near Tallahassee, kind of South Florida, I believe. Is that South?
Tallahassee's North Florida.
North Florida. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense because when you get south, that's like
Miami's
Miami.
the most real bottom.
So more rural, not beach.
Right.
And there's just some fucked up shit going on. Well, not fucked up, but the type of shit that you would expect to happen like during the 60s. Because it's segregated during that time. Black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's overplayed. I think it's just like, it just tells it like matter of fact. Yeah. Exactly. And I liked it. Big twist. And in my opinion, the best cinematography of the year.
Well, yeah, they got a lot to work with in that part of the world.
The visual storytelling, so it's first person perspective is how it's shot for the majority of it. It's really good. Just unique choices made throughout the entirety of the film. And the cinematography, first and foremost, is what will stick with you the most. So, in like Nosferatu, you brought up Dune. Like those have good pieces of cinematography. For this, it's like it's integral to the storytelling. Okay. It just feels embedded in the film. The Order is number 8. That has Jude Law. I don't know if I would definitively say he should win Best Actor, but I think he's nominated, and it is a rightful nomination. He fucking killed it as like... So he was a New York police officer who investigated the mafia and gets reassigned here, I think because that fucked his family life up. Mm-hmm. So he goes to Washington, I believe. Maybe. A lot of shit happens in Denver, but it's not in Colorado. I think it's in Washington. Because there's a white secular group that believes in like... Separatist. That believes in white power. Called The Order, which is based on the Turner Diaries, if you've ever heard about that.
I have to read about that. You mentioned that.
Yeah, so the literature is about how a group of white... fucking what do you call it? Like not white power type of people.
Yeah.
People who believe that the white supremacy. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. How the world goes to shit if you don't keep the nation white. Mm-hmm. And the diaries are what they call the FBI and the police officers, the playbook that the Order is trying to use. So it's like, gather funds, terrorist action, create a militia, assassinate public figures, and then eventually take over the government. Overthrow and install your own government. Yeah. So it's more of a take action type of white power people, and Jude Law is FBI, and he quickly just gets sucked into this. Like he's there on his own for a couple weeks, and then he's like subconsciously, I'm bored. Like there's something going on here, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it, even though I probably should just, like, kind of...
Hold back.
Yeah, just lay low, like he's had open heart surgery, like he has a scar, and he's physically probably should be easing up career-wise instead of, like,
Yeah.
keeping it going. Super good performance by him. Another, like, good ending. And good story. Also, Nicholas Hoult, I think his name is. He's the guy in Nosferatu. He plays Jonathan Harker. He's also in the Order, and good performance by him. He's the head of the Order, the white supremacist organization. 9 Long Legs, and then 10 The Substance, which I think you would like. It's kind of body horror.
Mm-hmm.
It's about drugs, obviously, kind of like Ozempic,
Mm-hmm.
and the societal need to look good and look younger.
young.
But also, I think it plays both that and also substance abuse. That, like, so you look at it one way, it's like, oh, as I get older, I feel bad about myself, and I just don't want to feel that way anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if you think about how substance abuse works, you could look at alcohol, you could look at heavy, hard drugs. It's like, I don't like who I am, I don't want to feel this way anymore. So you continue
Yeah.
in excess abusing the substance.
Right.
So I like things like that just kind of hit your brain in a, you know what I mean? It makes you look at things through a different lens. It's allegorical. I love shit like that.
Yeah.
So top 10, Dune, Challenger, Civil War, Anora, Nosferatu, Conclave, Nickel Boys, The Order, Longlegs, The Substance. Of the ones you watched, any you want to quickly mention and or a favorite?
No, I mean, I like your list. Some of them I have not seen. I liked...
Do we need to check it twice?
my list is... No, I check it twice. I check it more than twice. My list, from Naughty and Nice. I like Long Legs. I like Dune. There's other ones I'm going to watch. Some of them.
I hope so. I know Challengers is top of the list for you.
I'm not going to watch that.
Sometimes it's
I'm not gonna watch it.
It's important to.
I'm not gonna.
Can I mention? Can I mention? So I'm halfway through Wild Robot.
Mm-hmm.
It's an animated film. It's on Peacock. Good family animated film.
I love those.
Yeah. And I watched another one. Oh, that's why it's it is 43, because I watched Flow and I didn't add it to the list yet. That's another animated film. So good. For everyone, for the whole family, like it's
Okay.
just throwing that out there. Also, so the other Oscar nominated films, I just feel like this is for Best Picture specifically. So Wicked is 13th on my list. A Complete Unknown is 20 on my list. And I think, let's see. Oh, there's an easier way to do this. So we already went over Nora, Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune. Amelia Perez is last on my list. Nickel Boys, I already said. The Substance, Wicked. Yep, so I covered all of them. Yeah, so that's where everything ranks. And I'll link my complete list in the comments below if you want to check it out.
Cool beans.
But thank you, man, and hopefully
you.
I'll
I'll get to watch some of these. You folks should listen to him as well. Because I've seen a few of them and I've liked those. Long Legs, I'd give that a shot.
What would
Give
you
it some
rate
time.
it? What would you rate? Give me just your closing.
I'd go like a 3.8.
So that's pretty fucking close to what I would be able to.
Yeah, just so unique. I mean,
But
I
you
haven't
know
seen
what?
anything really similar to that.
I was like, as soon as I came out of the theater, the first thing I said to my girlfriend, I was like, it was with slight disappointment in my voice.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, fuck, I thought they were gonna play it straight the whole time. And in my mind, I was like, I think that would have been better. And then the more I kind of ruminated on it, I was like, I think actually what they did is much better than.
I don't know how you could have played it straight because there were elements that made that crime unsolvable because it was supernatural.
Exactly. That was the thing. I was like, if you can figure out a way to make this, because they're like, he's not there.
Right.
You know, they're all related to him, but he didn't do it.
He's never in it, yeah.
So it's like, well, how the fuck is he doing it?
Yeah, so the husband's doing it.
Yeah.
He's killing everybody.
So it's like, is he getting blackmail on them? But I'm like, well, what the fuck does blackmail matter? Yeah, exactly.
Kill your family. It's like, look, I'm going to kill myself, but the kids I'm going to leave alone. Not life.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the tie-in is like sacrificing your kids is like something has to be. I know Chris Benoit did it, but like you're like he was literally insane.
Yeah, he
popped
a cap in his brain.
Yeah, he just wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the one thing you would do anything to protect.
Right.
So if it meant you just had to take yourself out, you would do that.
Right.
And that's why you're like, dude, something is up.
Right. Nothing makes them. Well, I mean, you do see that happening, but no one who causes it from the outside. There's no outside factor that's causing.
Right.
Because people will kill themselves and their family, but it's not because of another person.
Mm-hmm.
In involvement in not just one time, but multiple times over like decades. You know.
Yeah. What are some of the motivations of real life where they do themselves in the family? I mean, Benoit's one, but
generally,
psychosis.
Well, there's got to be some mental illness involved, but it is like the husband and wife are.
Oh, that's such odds. They're like, fuck you, and yeah,
I'm gonna kill everything.
Well, they say taking your life, I say this, is killing the world.
I agree, yeah. At least to some degree.
Yeah. It's the most violent action you can take.
Yeah.
So. Because to you, it's like, well, it's the whole, if a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound?
Right.
But everything is only, the world happens through your perspective.
Right.
And even if you aren't perceptive to it as it happens, it only matters when it applies to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
For you.
You have an own personal world. And so, like, something that happens in India, if it doesn't somehow directly affect you...
It's almost like it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's like it didn't happen. So I agree with that.
Yeah. So when you take yourself, it's like that whole world ends.
Yeah.
Which is... I like perspective. Something for the fans to think about.
Yeah.
Let us know what you want us to cover next. What you want Dad Man's new nickname to be. Today it was Mr. Biscuit.
Mr. Biscuit.
And we will catch you
on the flip side.
The flippity flip.
I'm not saying that.
Fio.
I will not say that.